So you're renting what, a one bedroom?
Yeah, mine's a one bedroom apartment. It's got the sofa I'm sat on now. It's got a fridge freezer, an oven, a microwave, washing machine, separate bathroom, bedroom with a wardrobe. Um, yeah, and mine here is actually $200 a month.
So you're paying 200 a month for a one bedroom.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that includes your Wi-Fi.
That includes my Wi-Fi, yeah.
All right, so today we are heading over to the beautiful country, one of my faves, Cambodia, with my new friend Sonja. Sonja, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. Okay.
Oh, of course, I keep forgetting that it's morning for you.
Yeah, and what time is it there?
It's 9 p.m. here.
Yeah, see, it's my bedtime there.
Yeah, it's a 12-hour time difference.
12-hour time difference. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's start, Sonia, by getting a little backstory about you. Tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, and how you chose Cambodia to live in, and let us know what city you're living in.
Okay, so I'm Sonia. I was born in Southampton in England, and I've also actually lived in Michigan in the United States for 3 years. Um,
What part of
and
Michigan?
Novi.
In Novi, in the
Yeah.
suburbs of Detroit.
Oh yeah, 12 Oaks Mall.
Hmm. Wow, that's
Um,
great.
yeah. So after 3 years there, I came back and settled in Essex in England. I opened my own hairdressing salon there, and then we all know what happened in 2020. So after that, I decided, you know what? That's it. Something's got to change. So I sold my salon and decided to go traveling, but not only travel, but do it solo and start my own little like YouTube channel so that my parents and my children and my grandchildren could all follow along for the adventure.
Yeah.
So after almost 2 years of traveling, I decided that I was going to come to Cambodia, and I crossed the border and it hit me. And it's something called the Cambodia effect.
Hmm.
You ask anybody, you cross that border, and the people are so kind, so friendly, so welcoming. I arrived in Siem Reap and I just didn't leave.
Yeah. Wow. That's great because and I've heard nothing but everybody that I've talked to who experiences Siem Reap, but also Cambodia in general, it just seems to be a place people fall in love with, even Phnom Penh. But Siem Reap is special. You got Angkor Wat, and it's just a beautiful little community there that you can easily move around. And
Absolutely.
it's so cheap. It's just so affordable, which makes
Yeah.
it just it's really a special place. So you started 2 years, 2 or 3 years ago?
I left England for the first time in, oh, when was it? The 1st of November 2022.
Okay. Did you ever travel anywhere before prior to that leave?
I went on a 6-day holiday to Greece, if that counts.
Oh, okay.
But that's about it. And then
Okay.
when I decided, should I do this travel, I decided to book 3 days in Northern Ireland to see if I would like to travel on my own.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And then I just decided, yeah, let's sell everything and jump in. So that's what I did. There was no plan B.
Hmm.
I just kind of put all my eggs in one basket and off we went.
No, when you say you sold everything, you sold all of your belongings and are you pretty much living off of savings or do you have like a retirement pension?
Yeah, I have a an allowance from I have an allowance coming in um once a month, and I also have my savings from literally I sold everything. I sold my everything I own, basically from my shoes to my sofa to my fridge, everything. And I had my hairdressing business with everything that comes with that. So the hair dryers, the everything
Yeah.
gone.
Thinking about moving abroad? Adventure Freaks is packed with resources to help you every step of the way. Want immigration support? We connect you with experts who understand the process inside and out, giving you the most up-to-date, reliable information. No more sifting through outdated websites or confusing embassy pages. You can click on the country you're interested in and scroll down and see our helpful links here. Here's immigration and visas, which will connect you with an immigration lawyer in that country. Curious about life abroad? Talk to expats who've already made the move, all of which we've done podcasts with on our YouTube channel. Whether it's day-to-day living or navigating local bureaucracy, they've been there and can share their firsthand experience. You can also book a one-on-one consultation with me. I've spoken with hundreds of expats and professionals around the world, and I'm here to help you navigate the process and find the right destination for you. Not sure where to go? Our Ideal Destination Finder can help. Answer 20 simple questions and discover the top 3 countries that match your lifestyle and priorities, all based on your answers. Plus, you can dive into our helpful articles covering everything from finding housing to understanding healthcare abroad. AdventureFreaks.com makes it easy to get the answers you need straight from the source. If you're ready to start your journey, we're here to help. Wow.
Yeah.
So Sonja, so that's another, I mean, I could do a whole podcast on that because people are that are thinking about moving abroad and retiring abroad. One of the hardest things to do is to downsize and let go. So
Yeah.
how was
Um,
that process for you? And was it difficult? Was it challenging or
the first thing that I did was to try and declutter my wardrobe. Now, as a woman, you you have a few clothes in your closet. I actually had 2 double closets that was so full I couldn't even get a piece of paper in amongst the clothes. I had that much.
Mhm.
So I decided after talking to one of my clients in the hairdressers one day, I took everything out of my closet and threw it on the bed. And she told me, hold up your dress. And if it doesn't bring you joy and happiness, or you can't fit into it, get rid of it. So I managed to literally compress my closet by a huge amount just doing that.
Mhm.
So, and that was the hardest thing, I think. The more I got rid of, the more I wanted to get rid of
Uh-huh.
until it almost became addictive. I was like, right, how much can I get rid of today?
Yeah.
And when I stood in my flat with just my backpack, I was like, okay. It felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. It was freeing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hear that a lot where it's literally a liberation for some
Yeah.
people because it's just the weight is gone of all of the baggage that we accumulate over years. Did you use any types of methods or social media, Facebook to get rid of stuff? Did you sell it? Did you give it away? What was that like?
Um, uh, yeah, it was a combination of it all. First of all, I just tried to sell it. I did Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
I put adverts up nearby to people that I knew. So a lot of stuff went like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a while, that sort of started to slow down. And then I did I don't know if you have them. I think you have them as yard sales in America. We
Yeah.
call them car boot sales.
Okay.
So you would put all your stuff in the back of your car, drive to a field in the early hours of the morning, and everybody would be there selling their goods from the boot of their car,
Ah,
um,
interesting.
the trunk of their car, sorry.
Okay.
So I did that, oh, maybe about 3 or 4 times with my daughter. And then eventually, when I got down to the last few bits, I went to a charity shop and just said, here you are,
Hmm.
basically. The one caveat that if somebody comes in and really is struggling for money,
Yeah.
and it's one of my items they want, please just give it to them or let them have a really cheap price. If I'm giving you a lot of stuff, I want to just pay that forward that if somebody's struggling,
Yeah.
can you let them have it at a really cheap price?
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that because that's a process in itself, and people that are thinking of moving abroad are all going through that. So that's some great
Yeah.
tips and very helpful. Well, let's dive into now. Let's talk about the visa. So most of
Mhm.
my viewers are retirees, but some are expats, nomads. What do you know about the visa requirements to live in Cambodia?
Uh, Not a lot. I am definitely not an expert.
Okay.
I can I know that when you come in to start with, you can either in on a T visa or an E visa. The T visa stands for a tourist visa. It is valid for 30 days. You can renew it once, and so that will give you 60 days in total. If you come in on an E visa, you can extend that for 1, 3, 6, or 12 months through an agent. You
Mhm.
don't do it yourself, you go to an agent and they will advise you. Um, but that's about all I know about that. I can give you to put down in your description below the name of a very good visa agent here in Cambodia in case any of your viewers would like to contact them. It's called Cam Smile Services and they are lovely. They will look after any of your viewers and help them out.
Do they have a website?
Um, They have, I believe, a Facebook page, which is more normal out in Cambodia rather than websites.
Okay, so I'm familiar with there is if you are, I believe it's 55 or older
Yeah,
in Cambodia, that you just you can pay, there's no income qualifications or anything, and you pay about 285 per year, and you can renew that visa if you are of age of 55 or older. Have you heard anything about that?
I have heard. I can't tell you what the price is for a year visa right now. Off the top of my head, I wouldn't want to say it and then be wrong.
Yeah.
Um, but I have heard the same thing. As I say, anything with visas, I'm always a bit wary about saying because I'm not an expert and yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. But yes, you can, over the age of 55, you can get a retirement visa. And as far as I know, but you would have to check, you don't need proof of a certain amount or level of savings. But yeah, do your own homework for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I'm seeing it's about 285, 290 a year. I'm just looking at it right now.
Yeah.
And it's a great visa because you can stay a full year without any issues. You don't
Yes.
really have to show proof of income or anything. Anybody that just, if you're 55 or older, I believe that's the age. It could be 50. I'm pretty sure it's 55. If you're 55 or
Yeah.
older, you can qualify for that. And then you pay like 285 or 290 every year. You could stay a full year and they just leave you alone. So it's pretty,
Absolutely.
so it's much easier than places like the Philippines or Thailand. Um,
Yeah.
and that's what
Yeah.
a lot of people are attracted to in Cambodia as well. All right. Well, cool. Well, let's dive into rentals. Everybody that moves over there needs a rental to live in. How much are the rentals going for in Siem Reap?
Um, it's quite a large, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Scale.
Yeah.
So, I do have a friend who is renting a one-bedroom studio, local style, which is a bed and a chest of drawers for 60 US dollars a month.
Wow.
Um, that is extremely cheap, but that's if you don't mind living like a local.
Yes.
Um, the middle of the road, I would say where most people fall is around 300 to $350 per calendar month.
Okay.
That is just listening to other expats that are around. When you ask them, they'll all say, oh, mine's 300, mine's 350. It will depend whether it's got a swimming pool or it's got like a gated 24-hour security.
Mm.
But can I just say, most things are negotiable.
Yeah, that's another plus about living there is that you can negotiate pretty much everywhere, and they're really
Yeah,
interested in getting people to stay.
yeah,
So there
definitely.
are high rises, or there are communities there that you can rent a place in and get like a pool and a gym and those types of amenities.
Yeah, so anywhere from say 350 to 500 a month, you could get somewhere very nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
Wow.
extremely nice. Yeah. There aren't high rises because I don't know whether you know, but in Siem Reap, no building is allowed to be taller than Angkor Wat.
Oh wow. Okay, I've heard that before. Yeah, I'm that's yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
that
So
reminder.
it's not a high rise place
Mm.
because everything has to be shorter than the temple.
Yeah, which makes it
It's actually
even
really nice. I like that.
yeah, it makes it even more desirable. For the person who's living in that $60 a month um, one bed studio, does that include, do they typically include air conditioning?
Um, every place that I have seen has air conditioning. Excuse me. But that is extra on top. So
Okay.
you pay your rent, but you also have an electric bill. Most electric bills are 25 cents per kilowatt hour for
Hmm.
electric. And water bills are somewhere between $5 and $10 per month, but
Okay.
they're not metered.
Okay. Can you break that down more for us as far as electric per month utilities on a pounds or USD kind of amount?
So my electric bill, it's never been over $30 for a month.
Okay.
But if you ever turn your air conditioning on, obviously that's going to go up. I've heard of some people paying sort of 100 to
Yes.
$150 a month because they leave their AC on.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's again a sliding scale depending on, yeah, depending on how much of an AC person you are.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And you, so what do you, so you got Wi-Fi and your Wi-Fi is excellent. You're coming in crystal clear, no
Oh, that's
hiccups or
good.
anything. I mean, what do you pay for Wi-Fi out there?
That's included.
That's included in your rent.
Yeah.
So you're renting what, a one bedroom?
Yeah, mine's a one bedroom apartment. It's got the sofa I'm sat on now. It's got a fridge freezer, an oven, a microwave, washing machine, separate bathroom, bedroom with a wardrobe. Um, yeah, and mine here is actually $200 a month.
So you're paying 200 a month for a one bedroom.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that includes your Wi-Fi.
That includes my Wi-Fi, yeah.
Okay, but
But
you got to
I have no swimming pool. I have no balcony, but it's nice. It's a little bit further out of town, but that's okay for me.
now when you okay, so further outside from town, do you have a vehicle or do you just take like tuk-tuks and taxis to get around?
Yeah, so I just take the little tuk-tuks
Hmm.
around. You can order those on I don't know whether you have like Uber where you are,
Yeah.
taxis, yeah.
Yeah.
So over in Asia, it's a Grab or a Pass, and you just download those and you can order a tuk-tuk to and from wherever. It comes up with a little map. You drop the pin. This is where I want to go. This is where I am. It will tell you how much it's going to cost, and you just press the button and off you go. You can either pay by linking a bank account or you can pay in cash.
Okay. What would you say getting around Siem Reap for you per month costs budget wise?
Again, I don't tend to take too many tuk-tuks. I love walking.
Hmm.
Um, but to get most places you can probably get for between $1 and $2
Hmm.
around the town.
Hmm.
So if you want to go from the major points, it will be somewhere between $1 and $2 per trip. So it's not a lot
So for a
to pay.
typical maybe retiree or expat, would you say $30 per month or would that be too low?
No, I would say that that's probably about right. I mean, there is a good walking culture here. There's a beautiful river that you can walk along. Yeah, a lot of people go out and walk underneath the trees, and it's lovely. And I say $1 or $2.
Now you, because you walk so much, how much do you think you pay per month on transportation? You think it's less than 30?
Yeah,
So you're
definitely.
primarily walking everywhere. And where you live, you can walk to like cafes and
Yeah, yeah. It normally takes me to walk to a cafe. I can walk to a cafe in 5 minutes.
wow. Okay.
Um, if I want to go down to Pub Street and like the tourist areas, that's maybe about a 40-minute walk.
I see. Okay. I'm like you. I'm the same way. I can walk for 40 minutes. I love to go out. And when I lived in New York City, I mean, we'd walk all day rather than jumping on the subway. And you could jump on the subway and get to places in minutes, but it was just more fun to just like, walk everywhere.
Yeah, sorry. I also think that when you go somewhere new, it's nice to walk in different directions each day. So I will go out and think, right, this today I'm going to walk down this street. I have no idea where I'm headed to. I'm just going to go and see what happens. If I manage to find myself that I've walked too far and I look at the map and go, oh, okay, then I'll call a tuk-tuk and say, come and pick me up and take me home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow. That's great. Okay. All right. That's good information. All right. So the Wi-Fi is included in your rent. Um, do you have a cell plan there in Siem Reap?
I do. Yes, there are three main providers. There's Smart, there's Cell something. I can't remember the name of the other one, but they're all the same price. There's three main ones, and for 100 gigabytes, it's $10 a month.
So, and
And
that's
I
the
think,
plan you're on? You're on the $10 a month plan?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think this month I did $10. Last month I did the $6 one, which was 60 gigabytes.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right, great. All right, so let's look into we talked about you walking to cafes and restaurants. What does it cost to get a bite to eat there? At just, local mom and pop places where you can get a nice Cambodian fare?
So if you want local foods like a beef look like or something like that, you can pay like $3,
Hmm.
something like that. You can probably get it a little cheaper as well. I think the least I've paid for a beef look like is maybe 250.
Okay.
Uh, but then obviously if you wanted to eat in, I think they've got a Hard Rock Cafe along the river there. I
Hmm.
have looked at the prices a few times, but they are Western prices.
Sure.
They would be the same as you would pay in America or anywhere.
Yeah.
So I tend to walk past them and just go, oh, nice, and carry
Yeah.
on.
Sure.
Yeah,
How much does like a beer or a glass of wine cost there?
I do know this.
I saw you smile when I said beer and glass of wine. You just
Yeah.
kind of perked
So
up. I'm like,
so the least I've paid for one is 75 cents for a can of beer.
wow. Yeah.
The most I've ever paid is $2.50 for a can.
Wow. Okay. How about wine?
Wine, I think that's normally around $3 for a glass of wine.
Okay.
Yeah, and cocktails are anything from $2.50 to $3.50 for a cocktail.
Yeah. Well, I find, that what you're sharing is just astonishing to me because when we think of where we're from, right? The US and the UK, where things are so expensive and they continually keep going up in cost. I just
Yeah.
I just had a dinner with a friend of mine and she ordered a cocktail at this local restaurant that we have. It's a really just it's a ma pa great. They do have great food. They do have, but the cocktail, and it was like a simple kind of like it wasn't a martini, but it was a mixed kind of something with, I don't know, gin or something in it. And it was $15 for the drink.
What?
And I was like blown away because I don't go out and drink in these places anymore. And I never ordered that kind of stuff when I go out. But I was just blown away that we're not even in New York City. And I was like going, I know, prices in New York City, you could pay 20, $25 for, drinks. Yeah, mixed drinks. Yeah, it's crazy where you go. And when you hear stuff like, you can get a beer for still 75 cents in parts of the world that are really unique. It's same thing in Phnom Penh, where, it's a big city with a lot of cafes and it's got a vibrant atmosphere. And there's a lot of young nomads that are discovering this place because there is a freedom that you get when the prices are so low. And a lot of these young people are very smart. They got online jobs. They're working as digital nomads. And even if you're making 1,000 a month, you can live very, very well in Cambodia.
Uh,
And you could go out every night of
Very
the week.
well.
You could
Yeah.
go out every night of the week and eat at restaurants. You could meet friends every night of the week. You could go and have like glasses of wine. And you can't do that any longer in the UK or certain parts of the West or US or Canada because it's so costly.
I can go out and have a brilliant night on $15, like
Yeah,
all,
I
including
know.
food, drinks, everything.
That's why Cambodia has always been one of our top destinations that we love to recommend because it's far away. That's probably the
Yeah.
biggest issue that people have, because people have family and if they want to go back, they want it to be easily accessible to go connect and visit family, and you don't want it to be astronomical in price. That's the trade-off. You are halfway around the world from where you live, and it's just that's the big trade-off. But for the people that discover it like you, and you step into Cambodia, and then you step into Siem Reap, I've only heard everybody I've talked to just falls in love with these places. It's a
Uh,
really special place out there right now.
it is. it's the people that make it special, the local Cambodian people that make it so special because they are warm, they are welcoming, they are just they just walk around with smiles on their faces
Yeah.
all day, and it's lovely. It really is.
You okay, so you found the what is it called? The beef loak
Look like.
loak. Yeah, and you can find that for 250 and that's quite a dish, right? It comes with rice and
Yeah, it comes with rice and it's just beef in a sauce, and it normally comes with like cucumber and tomato as well.
yeah.
And
So
it's
like
very nice.
can you get like the mixed vegetables and chicken like do they
Yeah,
do that in Cambodia? And what do those typically go for? Pretty much the same price?
yeah, the same. All the little market like food sellers down by the river. Um, Most dishes are somewhere between $2.50 and $5.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All
So
right.
depending on what you order, there are so many little food sellers along the river there. And it's lovely. You just sit down in the evening and you order your food and you're looking across the river.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just lovely.
Yeah, it's definitely on my radar to come, yeah, to head out there and visit for sure. Um, okay, so what do you think a person would need to budget per month to go out and eat in Siem Reap?
$200 a month, maybe that's for like groceries, eating out,
Not no,
drinking.
not groceries is separate. Only if you
Ah,
decide, yeah.
groceries are separate. Okay. So yeah, maybe like to be honest, I don't tend to buy a lot of groceries because eating out is so
So
cheap.
so cheap, yeah.
I don't tend to, so I tend to clump it all under one umbrella just
Mhm.
because it's like by the time you go out, you buy the food, you bring it back, you put your gas on, you cook it, you wash up. You might as well just go out and spend a couple of bucks on something that's
Right.
already cooked for
Yeah.
you. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'd say sort of like, I don't know, 200 a month for,
For both.
yeah.
So you're like 100 for eating out, 100 for groceries. Pretty much keeps you
Yeah,
covered.
I'm trying to do my maths because I don't tend to do things by
Yeah,
like a
budgets. Yeah.
monthly add it up. But yeah, so to eat out, I tend to eat once or twice a day.
Hmm.
So with the
Okay.
coffee, but yeah, if you budgeted uh, $10 a day for food, drink, and everything is going to be more than enough.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. Okay. And then the next thing is entertainment. What do people do in Siem Reap for fun?
Right. So there's for me, there's walking.
Hmm.
Down by the river, every evening there is an exercise class that you can go and join in with. Um, there's I think there's a guy there that has one of these great big like music boxes, and he does all the old exercises and jumping up and down. That happens at about 5:30, 6 o'clock down by the river.
Hmm.
There's a movie theater in Siem Reap, but I think it costs about $2.50 to go to the cinema.
Okay.
Um, there is there is a big drinking culture over here. So I would say that if you are inclined to have a slightly addictive personality, I would think about it because at 75 cents a beer and a big drinking culture, some people do get led astray. I'm just
Yeah.
going to leave. I'm
Sure.
going to leave it at that. It's very easy to slip into that, but there's loads of different things. You can go to quiz nights. Um, I know there's like an over 50s ladies group that meet up once a week. They sometimes do quilting. Um, They do, I think they had a Mad Hatter's Tea Party recently that they all organized, which was great fun. So there is a big community feel here as well.
Okay, that's great. Do these exercise classes, do they charge to participate in those?
I've never tried.
You never.
I
Uh-oh.
was in,
Well, you're walking too much, so you really don't need to do the exercise class. You get your
yeah,
exercise in through
a-
walking.
yeah, and the fact that it's at 5, 6 o'clock, it is quite warm. But I have been down and watched,
Yeah, yeah.
if that counts.
Okay. All right, great. Okay, and our last thing, Sonia, is healthcare. Everybody moving to Cambodia wants to know about their healthcare. You know, what type of quality is it, and how can a retiree expat access the healthcare system? Is it a public healthcare system, or do you need to pay into it?
You have
Whatever you can share.
This is probably the one area where Cambodia isn't ideal.
Hmm.
Um, the healthcare isn't as good as the UK or as America or um, I would say probably even Bangkok. Their healthcare, number one.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent healthcare in Bangkok. Cambodia, not quite so much. Actually, a friend of mine from over here at the moment is sat in a hospital in Bangkok. 5 days ago, he had a mini stroke.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He got taken to hospital in Siem Reap, um, and they ran some tests and looked at him and took bloods and things like that. They came back and said, we're going to have to send you to Bangkok, which, from what I've heard, happens a lot if something happens.
Yeah.
Uh, so he had a flight organized with a nurse, and it was a medical flight. He had to fly to Bangkok, and right now he's in a Bangkok hospital. Luckily, his insurance is covering it. I haven't got the final message. I've been messaging him saying, how much is your hospital bill? Because it would be really handy
Yeah.
um, to be able to tell people. I think by the time it's all done, it's going to be about $6,000 at last count. I think it was $6,000.
Okay. That
Now,
he
whether
would have to
that
pay.
no, that the insurance company will pay.
What medical insurance does he have? Do you know?
Don't know. I am with a company called Safety Wing,
Hmm.
which I believe is an American
It
company.
is. Yeah.
Uh, but thankfully, I've never had to put it to the test. Um,
Yeah.
touch wood that I've been good, but the only thing that I can say is, unfortunately, this friend of mine went through this, and the Cambodian hospital felt like they couldn't help him, so they had to send him to Bangkok, and that has happened that I've heard a few times.
Okay. Yeah, that's great
So
information.
yeah, I mean, insurance is something that do not travel here without health insurance.
Hmm. Well, I'm
It's
interested in learning about what health insurance he has because there are some insurances that you think will cover you, but they may not. So
yeah.
if he's
Well,
with a company that said, "Yeah, we're going to cover the cost of this flight and getting you to Bangkok to get
yeah.
the help that you need," and they're going to cover it, that's yeah. If you could send me that information once, you know, ask him what it is, what insurance company.
Yeah, as soon as he's out, then I will ask him and I will send you the company name that he's with. But I have heard of several people that have come here without health insurance, and you see quite often people fundraising because they won't let them leave the country until they've paid, obviously, their medical bills, and they can't afford it because it
Yes.
racks up very quickly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say that if you come, make sure that whatever health insurance you get will is a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to
So
make sure it works. It's all right. Well,
yeah.
that's everything, Sonia. Is there anything else you can think of that could be helpful for the viewers that we didn't discuss about Cambodia or living in Cambodia or Siem Reap? Anything else come to mind?
Not that I can think of, apart from the fact that April is the hottest month. So if you do decide to come here, December, January, and February are the nicest months weather-wise
Mm-hmm.
because there is a slight cooler breeze. In the evening, it might get down to about 18, and during the day, maybe 31.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in April, last April, it got up to 46 degrees.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if you're coming over, maybe come in a cooler time and build up to the hot season because otherwise
Yeah.
you're going to struggle.
Yeah, and anybody with, you got to remember it's pretty humid, it's pretty hot out there in that part of the world, and anybody that's prone to heart issues or any of that should really carefully consider that
Yeah,
part of the
yeah,
world because you don't
yeah,
want to end up like your
definitely.
friend that had a stroke.
Absolutely. And it's also the case of it's not as developed as the US. So the infrastructure here for maybe people in wheelchairs or things like that, some of the roads can be a little uneven. Motorbikes and scooters park on the pavements as well.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think I love Cambodia and I feel very at home here. But I think everybody has to do their homework and decide whether it's the right choice for them.
Hmm.
But I don't think you'll be disappointed if you come. The Cambodia effects will hit you and you'll fall in love just here.
Yeah, and let's mention your YouTube channel because your YouTube channel covers a lot about Cambodia. So people that are
Yeah,
really, yeah, it's called Nan with a Backpack, right?
it is, yes.
Yeah, and we'll put that link in the description for people to check it out. But check out this channel if you really want to do more research and dive into Cambodia and figure out if it is the right place for you. Sonia has an amazing YouTube channel. That's how I discovered her. That's how we connected and I subscribed. It's a great channel. So, Sonia, thank you so much for sharing all this information, taking the time out of your day to share your life and breaking down the costs of living in Cambodia. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. And yeah, if I can help anyone, then I will do. So yeah,
Yeah. All right. Well, you have a great rest of your evening. It's almost bedtime there.
it is. It is now 10 o'clock at night. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just gonna have a hydrate and go to
Nice.
sleep.
All right. Well, you take care, Sonia, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.